It's just a fanfiction, a story written by me, a writer. This has nothing to do with mentioned ideal BTS members, real life event, behavior, or characteristics. Taehyung was gazing into each other's eyes. You are the one who said you want to do nothing with me or my child. You are the one who was sleeping with Dada. Vine's words were cut off with the voice of Taehyung. His eyes widened, seeing Taehyung standing near the stairs. He was rubbing his right eye with his one hand, and with other he was holding his teddy bear. In one word, he was looking adorable. Dada. Taehyung went towards him. Every other thoughts or questions left his mind, seeing his child standing there when he should be sleeping. What happened, baby? Wine, who just came to know that Taehyung was her child, her own flesh, she too couldn't resist herself and went near him. Did you get frightened, Taehyung? I wanted water. Then I saw you were not beside me, so I came, Dada. Heaved out a sigh hearing his answer. Thank God he didn't hear any shouting. Come, baby, we will go to kitchen. Before he could finish his sentence, he saw Viken taking the glass of water in front of Taehyung's mouth. Here, you can drink from this, right? You are a big boy. Taehyung looked at the woman he had met today morning. Then, after all, she was just giving his child water which was previously brought by him. Nothing could go wrong, right? Taehyung drank some water and Viken wiped his mouth lovingly. Taehyung saw this, an unknown fear crossed his heart. Taehyung doesn't like being touched by anyone other than me after he wakes up from his nap or sleep. Even with mom, he cries after he wakes up. But with Viken, he isn't crying. Done. She smiled at the little boy who also smiled at her. She knelt in front of Taehyung and cupped his face lovingly. Such a good boy. About to tell her to not touch Taehyung, but the way she was looking at her, the motherly eyes, the genuine adoration on her face, seeing all this, he stopped himself. Is there a big misunderstanding between us? Do I missing some points, or all of this is some sort of Vine's trick, a trick to snatch my son from me? Or is it all of this some sort of Vine's trick, a trick to snatch my son from me? Vine auntie, you here? The child asked her, confused, as he first time saw her coming to his house at that time. Noticed how Vine's eyes now filled with pain hearing auntie from Taehyung's mouth. He tried to ignore her face, but he failed miserably. He knelt in front of Taehyung. Baby, she came here because we needed to discuss work. Taehyung formed O with his mouth, then giving a glance at Vine. And what's this, Vine aunt? Don't you think it's too common, like saying aunt all time? You are not wrong, Dada. Right. So what if we call her something different? Something beautiful? You find her pretty, right? So what should we call her? What should we call her? Taehyung held his chin with his fingers and began to think, whereas Wyan watched them amused because she didn't expect Taehyung to say this. Idea. We call her Daisy. Daisy. Yes, she is beautiful like Daisy, so we call her Daisy. Then he turned towards Wyan and excitedly asked her, "Do you like your name?" Wyan smiled and replied while caressing her child's cheek, "I love it, baby. Yay!" 6 years ago, during a holiday, on the terrace of their resort, they were silently looking at the open sky. "What's your favorite flower?" "Mine. I like to give red roses to you." "That I know, but I am asking, other than roses, what flower do you like and why? If not red rose, then definitely white rose." Because it represents innocence, silence, devotion, all of those things which can be beautiful if used wisely. Yours, Daisy. I like the way it represents faith. Aha, so Daisy it is. Even after not knowing full meaning of Daisy, Taehyung chose this flower to call her. He might look like me, but his way of thinking is similar to hers. So that's it. We will call her Daisy, he said, glancing at Wyan. "Taehyung, you should be sleeping by now. Let's go, I will tuck you to bed." Taehyung pouted, hearing his dad. "But Daisy is here. We will play." "She is here for work, my love. Plus, it's not time to play. It's time to sleep." "But you two are not sleeping because we are adults." "But Dada." "Okay, Taehyung, then let me show your room first." "You will, right?" Or he knew why he gave permission to Taehyung, because in his subconscious he wanted Taehyung to have some moments with his mother. However she was, she gave birth to Taehyung, so Taehyung deserved to spend time with her, even if Taehyung didn't know her real identity. Wyan, all three were at Taehyung's room as he was showing her his room and toys. "This is my room. I sleep here. Sometimes Dada too sleep here. Don't tell anyone, but he's scared of ghosts." He giggled, whereas "Nice try, Taehyung, but she wouldn't believe you because she very well know I." He stopped himself from saying more and looked away from her. "Taehyung, don't you have any storybooks?" "Yes, I have a lots of storybooks. Dada read me every night." "Really? Then show me to them. I also wanna read them." "Okay." Because other than himself and Taehyung, Taehyung didn't give his storybooks to anyone. But with Wyan, he's sharing all his things, even though he's just met her today. Saw him giving her those storybooks. She then picked one up and started to read it out loud. He watched them together, an incident he so always wanted to happen. He saw Taehyung falling asleep within few minutes of her reading storybook. She then gently tucked him to the bed and gave her a feather-light kiss on his forehead with utmost affection. "Only if you didn't do all those nasty things, then this would be our reality all these years." Only if you. Wyan came downstairs after tucking Taehyung to sleep. While climbing down the stairs, he noticed how her eyes were numb. He tried to ignore it, but he couldn't. I think we should sit and talk calmly. Wyan, I feel there's a lot of misunderstanding between us. A lot of. He said without looking at her, which at first made her stunned. But she quickly recovered it and nodded her head. Then they sat on the sofa and Taehyung calmly started to recall all the past events. So, for starters, you now know that Taehyung is your son too. He's our son. She nodded her head while being emotional. So, you were saying you wanted to keep him with you, you never thought otherwise. Why would I? I conceived him after months of trying. After getting negative tests months after months, when I saw the positive test, I was ecstatic. Then why did you decide to not have him suddenly? Wyan furrowed her brows hearing him. Not have him? What are you saying, Taehyung? I always wanted to keep my child. I never decided otherwise. Why are you twisting your words now? Wasn't you the one who called me saying you don't want to continue this pregnancy? Wyan felt as if cold ice was thrown on her head. I never said this. You did, Wyan, you did. I still remember it very clearly. After the last fight we had, you went to your parents' house. Then for the next whole 2 weeks, you didn't phone call me. Nor did you send me any messages. Then suddenly your lawyer came to my office saying you wanted divorce. At first I didn't believe him. But then I saw your signatures. Then I went to your parents' house but none of you were there. I called you all but none of you picked it up. Then suddenly next day you called me saying you were expecting. And you will continue with this pregnancy only if I give you divorce. That was your exact words 5 years ago. So I, being a helpless father, agreed to all your demands. You even gave me Taehyung's full custody. Custody? It was never mentioned in the divorce papers. Plus, when did I talk to you like that? And it was you who had sent me divorce papers. Within 1 week, I went to my parents' house after our argument. It was you who had sent your intimate pictures with your new lover saying you got your better half, you don't need me. I didn't bring the photos here, but I still have those photos with me, Taehyung. Even thinking about your nasty moves, my skin crawls back. Even after all this, when I called you to inform that I was expecting, at first you didn't pick it up. Then suddenly you called me saying how you didn't want to delay the divorce. How you wanted everything to happen as fast as possible. Only then I informed you about my expecting. And your response was, you don't want to do anything with it. You don't care. Blankly looked at her because it felt as if she was narrating some other stupid story. I never did anything like that. I never touched any other woman except you, neither while being with you nor after our divorce. It was you who wanted to be with your new lover, that's why you needed divorce and get rid of our son. You even sent me intimate pics with your lover, Wyan. You called me too while the photos were delivered. Bunch of aconite was delivered too, along with those photos. Aconite, flower of hatred. You don't believe me? Then let me bring those photos. Those must be somewhere in my cupboard. Plus, why would you think Taehyung was always with me since he was born if I was the one who didn't want to do anything with you too? He was about to go to his room to bring those photos when Wyan called him from behind. How did you get Taehyung? Your mom gave him to me. Wyan's eyes widened hearing him. She never expected this answer. What? Your mom gave him to me. More than 4 years ago. Entered the hospital where Wyan was admitted. Her mother just called him saying she just given birth to their son. So overwhelmed and overjoyed, he came running towards hospital. Because of traffic, he got a little late, but still, he came running. He always wanted to accompany Wyan to labor room, but unfortunately, it couldn't happen. This sadness of him was spreading through his heart. But he was trying his best to overlook it. Now his only focus was to meet his son, his Taehyung, a name he thought to give his son if he's a boy. If it was a girl, he thought to name her Taesha. With a smile on his lips and teary eyes, he went in front of the room. The receptionist told him Wyan was staying. As soon as he entered the corridor, he saw Wyan's mother standing there with a newborn in her hand and two unknown people standing beside her. Then angrily told him, "Why are you so late, huh? I was about to give this thing to these people to donate him in orphanage. If you came a little more late." It hurt hearing her say those harsh words. He took his son in his hands and said while rocking him, "Mom, what are you saying? This is your grandchild." "Grandchild, my foot. Neither me nor my daughter wants to see this little thing, so please take it with you and never show you or this child face in front of my daughter." "He gave my poor daughter a tear, so we are busy with treating her. So go away, go." Eyes got moist hearing his child's grandma using such cruel words about him. Still, he suppressed himself from snapping at her, thinking her daughter must have went to difficult labor, that's why she's being harsh. Wyan, she's okay, right? You, out of all people, don't need to think about her because her mom and dad is alive to think about her well-being. On top of that, now her lover is with her too. So, take your good-for-nothing son and leave from my daughter's life so she can finally have peace and enjoy her life with her lover. Present time. It was your mother who gave Taehyung in my hands, stating you don't want to do anything with my son. You are disgusted to see him, you are disgusted to touch him.